Hey guys, Shane here, Pocket Knife Review. This video today is not about any of these knives. Um, I'll get to the point in a minute of why these are laying here, but guys, I've not been doing this long. I started my channel on New Year's Day. It's currently March 3rd, something like that. Yeah, hadn't been doing this long. For those of you who've watched any of my videos, you've kind of gotten a feel already for what I do and why I do it, and I know that it's the reason why this channel is never going to be huge. I understand the process to creating a successful YouTube channel. I'm a little unclear on the morals and the ethics of that. I feel like some people handle it better than others. I've said this in the past. I feel like there are a few out there that would sell their soul, their wives, and their children to a Chinese knife company to have a successful YouTube channel. That being said, though, man, those guys make their decisions, and if they grew a channel really fast and are making some good money doing it, hats off to them, I guess. But guys, that's not what you're gonna get here. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna see the latest and greatest Chinese knife every week from me because somebody sent it to me, and you're not gonna have me badmouth a company because they wouldn't give me products. You are gonna hear me praise American-made knives, whether you agree or not, whether you think they're worth the money. I don't care about any of that. I don't mean that to sound rudely, but I don't care what you think about that, because this is why I started this channel. This is what I want to do. And if, I stay a tiny little channel that 80 to 100 people watch my videos when I post them, then I'm fine with that. The reason I'm making this video, and I'm sure you're going to see plenty of videos about this, and you're going to get plenty of different opinions about it. But it is about the recent Hoback Knives issue. I want to start by saying I've never owned a Hoback knife. I met Jake Hoback at Blade Show. I handled a couple of his knives there. I have lusted after Jake Hoback's knives. I just didn't have the money to buy them. That being said, to get to the controversial part of this, you guys know what happened. And I don't know if it started with USA Made Blade, but USA Made Blade pulled Hoback knives off their shelf because they found out that they're not American made. What percentage of those knives are American? I don't know. I do know that if that percentage was high, I believe somebody at Hoback Knives would be praising that, and I haven't heard that. And then I read the response to the criticism that was posted by Jake Hoback. And I just want to say this, man. I was offended when I read it. And the reason I say it is I'm not a college educated man. I have a lot of knowledge that I've gained through struggling through life and having to learn how to do things myself. And I'm not an idiot. You can't tell me that as long as these knives have been on the market and as many sites as they are on for sale, that he didn't see that they were being advertised as USA made and didn't do anything about it. Guys, if I made a product that was as badass looking as the Hoback Quebec, I can guarantee you this. I would be on Blade HQ. I would be on USA Made. I would be looking at those ads to make sure they're correct. If for no other reason, to make sure they're correct in my favor. You know what I'm saying? To make sure they didn't mess up the blade steel or the HRC when they report it. Because we all know they mess that stuff up a lot. I would be looking at that. There's no doubt in my mind that Mr. Hoback looked at that. There's also no doubt in my mind that he knew what was happening and he allowed it to happen. Now, guys, that's a pretty messed up thing to do. This is not me bashing Jake Hoback, though. You know, I've read a lot of comments that I didn't agree with, I didn't like, attacking his Christianity. Guys, there's one huge problem with Christianity. It's filled with people, and people are fallible. People make mistakes. Most of those mistakes center around two things, and that's money and lust. You know, it's everybody. It's every Christian or whatever you've ever met. We all have that issue. So no, I'm not questioning his Christianity. I'm not saying that it was all bullshit, like, you know, some of the comments I've read. But I am saying this, man. He doubled down and tried to say, I never said they were USA made. But man, the fact that he allowed these distributors to claim that they're USA made, even if they assumed it on their own, or even if they were dishonest, makes him dishonest. You know, it was a dishonest act. You know, that's between him and his maker. He'll have to account for that, and he'll be forgiven. But you know, by the community, I don't know. You know, we're not a very forgiving community, to be honest with you. You know, we've seen that in the past. I've even been guilty of, you know, I called a scammer and I was downright hateful. You know, but what a lot of you guys don't know is this was after weeks of me begging this guy to stop what he was doing. You know, I'm not going to get any deeper into that. But the reason I laid these knives out here is because I'd recently made a video talking about some people bashing Benchmade. Maybe it's a little unfair that I used the word bash, but they were just speaking negatively of their quality and their price compared to a Chinese-made knife. And what I said is that you're embarrassing yourself because you're comparing your cheaper Chinese-made knife to a Benchmade. If you had a good Chinese-made knife, then you would just be talking about your good Chinese-made knife, but you're not. You were comparing it to a Benchmade, and that just means that you wanted a Benchmade, whether you'll admit it or not. And the reason I chose Benchmade to lay out for this video is because, to my knowledge, Benchmades are 100% American-made. They don't have a plant anywhere else. I actually saw some comments in a live within the past couple of days saying, you know, we don't know that they don't get their screws from China or their, you know, their G10, whatever. And you're right, I don't know that. You know, there's no way for me to know that. But my point is, guys, I've defended, excuse me, I've defended these knives, and I've defended American-made knives, and the price of them, because of the pride of ownership that I have when I purchase one. That's why I'm upset about this whole Hoback Knives issue. It just so happened that last night, as I do a lot of nights, I was hunting a smaller, unmonetized channel to binge watch while I sleep, to get those guys some view times, and it's just what I do. I do it every night. By the way, if you have a smaller, unmonetized channel and you don't have your videos set up in a playlist, I can't do that. I can't help you fix that. My point is I stumbled across my good buddy Brandon Thrasher, and I realized there was a few of his videos I hadn't watched, and I hadn't picked his channel for my binge watching session in a little while, so I did. And just so happened the first video that popped up was his 5 favorite knives he'd bought that year or something. I don't remember the title of it, but in the video he proudly displays his Hoback knife. And I could hear it in his voice. I could hear the pride in his voice when he said that it was a USA made knife. I saw this video after I knew about the controversy, and I was a little embarrassed for Brandon. Brandon might not be, and that's fine. But I felt bad that that guy, who I know also owns plenty of Chinese made knives, but he expressed his pride in owning that thing because it was American made. And that really pisses me off that somebody did him that way. That somebody put him in that position, him and countless others. I saw some defenses to Jake. People saying, well, if the knife's quality, why do you care? You buy American guys are weirdos and blah, blah, blah. Now, some of those knives are $650. Is that too much for a knife? Yes. Is it too much for an American-made knife? Absolutely yes. But because of decisions that I've made, mostly pertaining to the fact that I signed those papers and raised my hand and agreed to die for this country, I continue to do everything that I can to help this country. I will pay the extra. I will pay the inflated price for a Medford, even though that cutting tool is not worth what it sells for. I will pay it because he's an American doing all he can do to make it a American-made product out of American-made materials. So no, if the quality being there is not the only issue, and I know there's only a handful of us that put value. Sometimes that value can be $200, $300, $400 more than the knife is worth, but we put that value into it to own that American-made product, and it's a kick in the nuts that somebody took advantage of that. That's how I feel about it. I don't have to sell my Hoback knives because I don't own any because I couldn't afford them to begin with. But would I buy one now? No, I wouldn't. And just a word of warning to people like Benchmade. You let me find out that you're doing the same thing, I won't buy your knives anymore. I won't buy Spyderco knives anymore if they're doing that. I know Spyderco already has some contracts with some Chinese companies, but they stamp made in China on it. They make it out of cheap steel. It's we know what it is when we buy it. And that's the biggest thing, is the transparency of knowing we weren't privy to that information, and that's not right. I could go on about this subject for hours. I'm not going to. I just want to get my opinion out there. Maybe it don't matter. Maybe you guys don't care. I don't know, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm a little disheartened. I'm a little sad, but it is what it is, and I appreciate any amount of time you guys spend with me. Peace. Love y'all.